if I could draw as an artist and draw Lynn Creek as I have it in my mind, across the swinging bridge, down, across the creek, up the road to the hill where the Kiplinger's house is on the hillside, and it's just a straight road on up through Lynn Creek as far as I could see.
And it was just a nice little town, so it took care of everybody's needs. And now to think that it's 40, 50 feet or more underwater is hard to believe. And it just seems that life kind of fell apart for a lot of us when this happened.
Here from all over the United States to get jobs here. The Depression was on.
And we were rather thrilled about it because we thought it was going to be an asset to the country, and it was going to make money, and we weren't going to lose a house or lose anything like that. But
we saw our homes burn, they were tore down. It was kind of heartbreaking.
Really hurt the farmers. I mean, it hurt their pride. They had lived there all their life and raised their families there. And of course, the water took their old houses and everything they had. And there wasn't nothing left. They even dug up the tombstone and moved the graveyard.
Well, a lot of people were really mad about it. You know, they hated to give up. They lived there all their lives and had to give up. It was kind of sad sometimes. My dad, he would bid those contracts of clearing the land, and he'd come home and tell us about some of the people that, you know, they just hated to give up their homes and their farmland and all. Just thought it was awful, but I guess it was for a good thing. It brought in a lot of work. But you know, when they first started clearing the timber and getting ready to build the dam, people came from everywhere. They thought this was a land of milk and honey.
We didn't want to sell. We were satisfied.
My grandmother
satisfied with our life. And I got up one morning and went to school, and my life was just perfect. I was about 9, 10 years old. I come home that evening from school. My house was filled with people I had no idea who was. And you can imagine a little kid that sees all these people that she'd never seen before. Well, they stayed there because there was no motels for these people who were cutting wood. And, you know, these big trees that they had to cut down and either burn or stake them down with wire.
I think some of the officials stayed at Emma's because there was no place for them to stay.
Well, that's the way with us. They stayed, and then
she cooked a good meal too.
Yeah, my mom too.
I know some of them was glad to get out, and others sure hated to move. Grandmother, she held out to the last one. She was the last one to ever move out from the big basin. And they had a truck and a car. And that day, we taken Grandma in the car. She wanted to go up to Lebanon to see Uncle Will. So we take her and Uncle Will taking some windows and doors out of the house. We loaded them in the truck and taking them up to the truck. And coming back, we stopped at the old house and picked up some stuff in the truck and headed back to Versailles. And there was 3 or 4 men there when we left the house. And we got Grandma around the corner and where she couldn't see the house. And those men threw gas or something in the house, set the fire, and the last thing I seen of it, she just blowing up in flames. And that's the last time it was ever back down there before the water came up.
So all of that is out there underneath this water. And the whole town is just that.
The end of the bridge was fastened with cables into the cliff over on the south side, the end of the bridge, and right there they had the toll house where they collected toll for everybody when it crossed to 25 cents to get a car across. And,
Nickel to walk across.
yeah. And the other end of the bridge landed on my grandmother's farm. And when they built that bridge, my grandpa had it in contract because the bridge landed on his property that all the Floyds clear down to the Grand Cooler could cross that bridge free of charge.
Well, one thing I can just remember of it is just crossing it. In the first place, I was afraid of water. And it seemed to me like the bridge was loose floating with me. But I crossed it many a time.
It was pretty high off. I don't know how many feet, but it's quite high off the water.
Yes, it was high.
And when you cross that bridge, you can take a dog crossing a bridge. He very seldom would let a dog cross that bridge, because that dog trotting across that bridge, that old bridge just wave up and down like that. And you take and cross that, say, a horseback, when the wind's up high, that bridge would go up and come up and down, wave like that. You couldn't see over the bridge ahead of you. Just, you'd just be going up and down all the time.
In wagon and all,
Yeah.
it would make it wave.
How it was suspended from 2 cables fastened high up in the bluff here. And you could still see remnants of these cables where the engineers cut them off with acetylene torches. They looked like broomsticks kind of sticking out of the bluff up there. But there are people, I guess the townsfolk all came out to watch it when they cut the bridge down and dropped it into the lake.
When the lake came in, everything was different. It changed completely, turned the opposite way, and all the kids we played with were not there anymore. And they called it progress, but they haven't made me believe it yet. They might someday.